Well, yesterday I was cutting beams with this Haddon, which is a simple device and it works very well as long as you've got a good 2x6. You only find a good straight one, and I've used these same ones for quite a while now, for years. I got a couple of 18 footers that I keep just using over and over. Well, now on this one, instead of making a beam out of it, I'm making 2x6s out of it. And for that I'm using the Alaskan, which does a good job on that. The Alaskan has some weak points to it. Like in the first place, they didn't need to use all this aluminum. Steel would have been better, but it helped when I put these weights on to balance it, because otherwise the thing is, all your weight is on one side. And it's an advantage if you don't run too long a bar. Like if I run my 24, then I'll notice I'll get a rougher cut on the outside here because it'll start vibrating. So I run the 20-inch bar on this, and a lot of times I'll even pull it back a little. That makes a smoother cut. But these weights really do help, and plus they give you something to push on when you're running it, because the handle is actually in a kind of an awkward spot. What I've considered doing is buying a second Alaskan, if I can get one just like this, and then I could use this cross piece, and put them over on this side. Then I could keep clamping my bar on the outside too. That would get rid of vibration. But then what it would be nice to do, once you've got that accomplished, you could actually grind a couple of wedges that go in here and on here to tip it slightly so you could cut lap siding with it. Now that would be kind of nice to be able to do that. It wouldn't take a lot, but you'd cut down one way, turn it around and come back the other way, so you'd have, it wouldn't take that much of a taper to do it. But that would be an interesting ability. But it would take another setup like this on this side. But I'll have to consider that, because you can cut pretty precise with this. The one thing I'll say the Alaskan has really got going for it is their scale that you set the measurement on when you're going to cut. It's right on the money. That is, you can go by that, which is handy. They do work good. They're not that expensive. But like I said, they do have their weak points. Now, I think they've improved some on it. I think they actually got rid of these aluminum castings even. The clamping system for the bar is excellent too. That works really well. That's why I say I'd like to have a second one on the other side. But then by making just a couple of wedged pieces or grinding little angle on them, wouldn't take much. You could actually cut lap siding with it. So I'll have to see. I'll have to think about that. I don't do a lot of lap siding, but just to have the ability to do that would be kind of nice. But it works, and you get a good solid 2x6 out of the operation. And it goes pretty fast when you're only cutting 6 inches wide. But like I say, you don't really want to run a bar too awful long. Like if I could get, I don't even know if they make an 18-inch bar for this, but that would actually be a little bit better even. Cut it back a little bit more. The chains, like the difference in price between a 20-inch rip chain and a 24 is like $1. It isn't. They're like $30 a chain. The bars is where it costs you more for the longer bar. So it would save you a little money that way. And it's just safer if you don't have that bar hanging out here doing nothing, plus, like I say, the vibration. But it works, but it's a combination of the two that works. Because the Haddon will square you up. And then you cut with the Alaskan. Because now I'll be able to get 3 of these 2-inch, and these are like a true 2x6. And I'll get, they're about 10 feet long. I'll get 3 of them, and then I think it's on the butt end here. I can go a little bit further, so I'll get another like a 5-foot one. It's a lot of grinding, but you know, if you're working with clean wood, the chains stay sharp. It ain't like you're cutting. If you had dirt or sand in there, it'd be a problem. But on clean wood and ash, you know, it doesn't cut that bad. Probably easier to cut when it's green. This is, like I say, the standing dead stuff, so she's hard as a rock. But the good thing is then I can build with it and not worry about warping, though ash isn't prone to warping anyway. But I'm glad I got this. Before I got this Alaskan, I used to cut everything with the Haddon, and then what I'd have to do is to tack the board on, move it over, tack the board on, and keep doing that. Well, eventually, you got that 2x6 that's kind of out on nowhere. You know, it's hard to get a good accurate cut, but for squaring things up, this is unbeatable, really. But for just making boards, then the Alaskan shines. Though, like I say, it's got its weak points. I don't know why they said aluminum, but I know when I put these weights on, I got all kinds of comments. Oh, you can't do that, you shouldn't do that. It brings the balance point right here, which is exactly what I needed. I think they're 2 8-pound weights. But that balances it and makes it much smoother to operate. Otherwise, you know, the tendency is always going to be to tip like that unless you're really pushing down on this side. And like I say, for that, the handle isn't all the wrong place, because like right now, the handle's in the middle of a 2x6. Well, if you're cutting a wide board, you know, the weights make a big difference. But I think another one of these whole clamp and that would bolt right on there because it's in the center.